Hey guys, Stephen here, aka Mr. DJ, with yet another DIY musician guide video. In this one, we're going to take a look at Spotify Canvas as well as signing up for its beta. Spotify Canvas is basically a video element you can add to tracks on Spotify. You might have seen these types of videos if you're a Spotify user. I kind of thought they were playing the whole music video for the track at first, and I was worried they were killing my battery when I was on the move, but they're actually just short 8-second looped videos. They only appear on mobile, so there doesn't seem to be any integration with the browser or desktop versions as far as I can see, and this obviously makes sense as the format is designed for portrait view. Let's have a look at how we can sign up for the Spotify Canvas beta, as well as have a deeper look at how Spotify thinks it'll keep our listeners listening. Okay, head on over to canvas.spotify.com where you should see a big join now button. Just before we go ahead and click on that though, be aware that when you eventually get access to Spotify Canvas, you'll need to have a Spotify for Artists account, as you'll be adding these videos to your tracks through there. So make sure you're all signed up for that, otherwise you can't sign up for this beta. If you don't have an account yet, just scroll to the bottom of this page and click on that Join Now button to get started. I also have a couple of videos all about that if you need a bit of a guide. Presuming we're all signed up, let's click on that button at the top. We'll then be taken to another page where we'll be prompted to add some information. It'll ask you for your Spotify artist URI, which you can find by visiting your profile on Spotify and then clicking on the three dotted button next to your name, then share and copy Spotify URI. Paste that in and then hit enter. Next up, it'll ask for your name, which is your actual name, not your artist or band name. Finally, just your email address associated with your Spotify for Artists account, and that's it. All you have to do now is sit there waiting to the end of time, just like me. Okay, now that's all done, let's have a look at what it's all about. Spotify has laid out 3 key points this feature has to offer, so let's have a look through them. Okay, the first one, get noticed. Hook people, then get them listening. Adding a high quality canvas to a track has increased streams by up to 120% and saves by up to 114%. In addition to lifts in artist profile visits and shares. So they're saying that more people are watching or streaming these tracks because of the integrated Spotify Canvas video, which I've got to be honest, I find a bit odd because music on your mobile device is a little bit passive for me because I'm always on the move. But maybe these stats prove there are more people out there just sitting off watching the screen and being engaged by that. And obviously these videos are helping them be engaged for longer. Okay, moving on to the second one, build a vision. Express yourself across your entire catalogue by adding a unique canvas to every track. Take over the now playing screen with dynamic looping visuals that bring your artistic vision to life. Thinking about it, you can get really creative with this, as in, you could tell a visual story across the whole duration of an album with having a short video on each track. Just think of it as an extension of your art. And lastly, change it up. Easily add a new canvas whenever you're inspired, whether that's once for your release or again and again, to reach new listeners and keep them coming back. I like the fact that it's not a set in stone process and you can change it up whenever you want. So you might be inspired to do something seasonal, or you maybe change the whole vision across your brand. There's a lot of scope to keep it interesting. Okay, let's move on. They provided some visual examples you can go scroll through, which you can filter by type. I particularly like some of the 2D graphic ones here, as I think the more cleaner and subtle they are, the more they add to the experience rather than take over it. Okay, let's move on to how we actually upload a Spotify Canvas. Well, according to this, we can upload it through the mobile or desktop app, and that's pretty convenient, gotta say. I can imagine a really good idea, especially for a live album. An artist could record some snippets from the audience and use those snippets for each track. So it kind of adds to the experience of that live album. Okay, let's have a look at some other things on here. There are some tips on best practices, which include excluding titles from your videos and not talking. It's all common sense stuff, really, when you think about it. You've got 8 seconds. It's definitely worth noting the content policy tips, as they basically rule out types of content you can't post, which is pretty obvious for most of us, but still worth a look before you think about, starting to make any. And lastly, we have the specifications information, which shows you the correct format for the Canvas video. Now, I'm not going to delve into that in this video, as I'm going to wait until I get access to Canvas so I can actually go through making one from scratch. I just think that'll be more helpful. At that point, I'd then be able to dig into things like the metrics and tips and the other associated blogs. So expect a follow-up video at some point where I'll go through the procedure of making one from scratch and then uploading, etc. And there you have it, that's Spotify Canvas. And I've got to say, I'm excited to one day eventually get access to it. I think it's a really good move for Spotify as it adds a little more creative weight to, you know, a pretty bland track list presentation. I just wish it was on desktop as well. It's definitely a step closer to when we'd sit off listening to music with the album artwork in our hands, whether it was from, you know, vinyl, cassette, CD or whatever. If you think about it, you can get really creative with this. As well as showing short music video snippets for your tracks, you could also highlight you know, your top fans, things like that, and touch on what I said before about recording the audience at a live gig performance. There's so many ways you can think about doing it, all obviously without breaking the policy rules as we touched on before. But anyway, I just can't wait to get my hands on it and have a play around. Anyway, I'll end that there then. If you want to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe, and please consider joining my Patreon where you'll get to see videos like this early as well as some behind the scenes stuff. But for now, I'll see you next time in another video.